Howdy folks, how goes it? Today is going to be the last day of cleaning parts on this KXT50F. I've already got the majority of this stuff cleaned up, mostly all the bigger pieces. Got a few things over here as well. So all that remains is the parts on this cart right here. The first thing I'm going to do with these parts is separate out the really nasty pieces. That way I can pre-wash them before soaking them in degreaser. After a little pre-wash, these parts are now ready for the degreaser to eat up all that dirt and grease. These parts don't require a pre-wash and are ready to soak. The only pieces that don't soak are the cables and electrical components. Anything with an open connection, I would just rather not immerse in degreaser. In order to soak all these little pieces and the hardware, I'll put them in these baskets and drop them into the tank. In case you guys are curious about what happens to all the nuts and bolts off the bike, I sell a chassis hardware set. So it's a collection of all the smaller nuts and bolts off the bike. And then the bigger bolts, such as the shock linkage bolts and motor mounting bolts, those are sold in separate sets as well. Even like axle spacers and brake line guides are sold in little sets as well. Everything off the bike goes. I like to set it up so when I have a bunch of parts soaking in the tank, I also have parts to clean by hand. So these are the parts I'll be cleaning up next. This bin of parts is ready to rip. I'm excited to see what this stuff looks like after some pressure washing. If any of you guys have used a sandblast cabinet before, you would understand. If you turn the lights out in the shop, it's so much easier to see inside the cabinet. Looking fresh. Just need to dry these parts off and use aluminum cleaner on a few of these pieces. So in the last video, I was testing you guys to see if you could figure out what this bolt was from. You guys are pretty good. A lot of you actually got it right. So the answer is this bolt holds the foot peg bracket onto the frame. So it just threads right into here. Alright, let's figure out who the winner is. So I've got the comments pulled up here. I'm gonna sort by newest first. I have to go all the way to the bottom. There's a lot of guesses in here. That's crazy. There's like 300 or 400 different guesses. Okay. It's the very bottom. Nope, nope, nope. Not the gas tank bolt. I think it is from the foot pegs. Let's see. So the one holding them to the frame. So his username is Scooter Tuning. You're the one that got it right. I'm gonna subscribe to your channel now. See if I can go over here. Hit subscribe. Heck yeah, dude. Alright, I'm gonna head outside and find a part so I can send it your way. See if I can find any cool parts out here. Got a sprocket. Got a bunch of fenders. Probably don't want a tire, do ya? Oh, perfect. Here we go. Got a piston for ya. This is, let's see, what bike was this from? I think this is off of a CRF 450. So the skirts are all scraped up on this one, but you know what? Be cool to throw on a desk or something. Alright, Scooter Tuning, if you want this piston, let me know. If not, I will send it to the next guy in line. Since I'm feeling generous today, I'm gonna clean up this piston for you. Dang, dude, you are getting a sweet looking piston. Just gonna sign it and send it on its way. While I was out here grabbing the piston, I noticed a sprocket here and I thought it'd be cool to give this away as well. So I am gonna test you guys once again. Alright, so I've got a shift drum here, and this exact drum was in one of my previous videos. So go back and watch a few videos and see if you can identify what bike this was taken out of. The first person to correctly guess what bike this drum is from, I will send that sprocket your way. After a few hours of soaking, these parts are ready for pressure washing. The nice thing about these baskets is I can pressure wash all these bolts, and that saves me from having to clean each individual bolt by hand, which would be ridiculous. Well guys, these parts are all finished up. It is so cool to see the final product, especially after all that work. I definitely had a blast on this one though. There's a few parts with bearings that I'll go through and re-grease. Then it's on to hauling these parts over to the studio, where I'll be shooting pictures for the website. Here's the parts that I'm going to re-grease. The linkage and Kickstarter. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how I organize all these parts and arrange them on the shelving. But first, look at all this space I have now. Finally sold the 400 the other day, so now I got my shop space back. First off, I'm going to put all the plastics into this storage bin. Most of the time I don't put the bigger parts like the gas tank, seat, and radiators into any sort of bin or box. They just go into the shelving by themselves. As for all these smaller parts, I'll separate them into boxes based on the materials they're made out of and how heavy they are. So I usually end up with 3 or 4 boxes for all these parts. The first box is labeled light for all the small plastic pieces and aluminum parts. Then the next box is heavy for parts such as brake rotors, linkage, axles, brake calipers, triple clamps, that kind of thing. And the last box is for all the electrical components and anything that's fragile. So the first box is for all the light parts. And anything that's part of a set, such as a set of axle spacers, I'll put them into a Ziploc bag to keep them together. That was all the light parts. Now on to the heavier pieces. All the fragile parts are up next. It is photo shoot time. Gonna haul these parts over and shoot some pics. This is the studio setup. Got a big old roll of paper coming off the wall down onto a table, and it's surrounded by lights. Got 1, 2, 3, and 4 lights. The pictures that come out of here are pretty amazing. All right, let's get to shooting. Now that all the parts that are in the boxes and bins are photographed, I'm gonna put them up on the shelving. Gonna find an open spot here. Man, this one's heavy. And this bin is gonna need a label. countdown is on, guys. Who is going to be the 30,000th subscriber? Woo! Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you all. So I know you guys are wondering, what is up with the motor on this bike? I'm not even sure what's up with it. I have not taken it apart yet. So whenever I part out a bike, I'll split it up into two sections. I'll do the chassis first, clean everything up, do all the prep, get it ready to go, and then move on to the motor. Just kind of breaks up the monotony of so much cleaning and prep. So that's what's up next. I'll be taking apart this motor and bringing you guys along for the ride. So you'll have to check back soon for that video coming out, and I will see you all there. Later. Oh wait, 1 second. Give you a little preview of this KX250F motor.